Hello, pieces of my African soul family. It has been a minute, and a comeback has been on the works, but I did not know that it would be under these circumstances. Anyways, here we are, and I am your host, Jeff Tamalela, somewhere in Africa, reporting live. And I am not happy today with the situation in Kenya for many reasons. But today I'm here just to get out an open letter to the president of Kenya. I'm not the sole voice of the young people, but I have the right to voice my opinions and my thoughts because I am part of that young population, and I am part of this whole generation of millennials and Gen Zs who are not happy with you, sir. So first of all, you said you've withdrawn the bill. What's the plan there? We want to know. I will not delve much into that, but what I want to touch on is the human rights violations that have been seen in the past week. You seem to be hell-bent on downplaying the people who've been killed and the people who've been disappeared. And it seems as though your own house is not in order, because the deputy president himself came out and said that the NIS did not help you to know the situation on the ground rightfully, which is a very funny thing. It is either he is oblivious or he is just using this moment for political mileage, because the president is briefed. He is the most briefed person in this nation. It is impossible for the president not to be aware of the situation in the ground. So first of all, we are peaceful protesters. We have not harmed anyone. We have not looted. And it is the mandate of you and your security apparatus to find these goons who infiltrated our peaceful protests. And before you made your statement yesterday, the previous briefing that you did, you came in strong-armed as though not empathetic. And that's how you came out. That's how we view you, by the way. You are not empathetic. You collectively called us terrorists, which you are not. We were on the streets forcefully because you decided to impose punitive bills on us. Like, this bill is punitive to the core. It is like you're not aware of the situation on the ground. You are far removed from reality. You should have advisors who are in touch with reality. We do not have 480,000 shilling shoes or belts or $1 million watches, by the way. We do not have that luxury. We are young people who, despite not having work after graduating, we are finding our ways to make money. I am a creative. We are using platforms like this to get small monies, yet you're hell-bent on even taxing the small that we get. And listen, the problem is not that we do not want to pay taxes. The problem is that we pay taxes, and our taxes end up in the pockets of greedy politicians like you and your cahoots. And that's why we are hell-bent on not increasing the taxes. They are high as they are, but if you want to increase them more just so that they end in people's pockets, it will not be possible. You are here, people are striking, teachers are not paid, doctors are not paid. How are you expecting people who are not paid well to be taxed even further? It is just a sad reality, Mr. President, that you do not provide jobs for us, and the jobs we create for ourselves, you're hell-bent on taxing. You don't even know how we got them. You do not know how we got there to be creative to make those jobs for ourselves. Yes, yet you want to tax those things. And here is why we were on the streets. We were not happy about being on the streets. We did not want to be on the streets. We had to be on the street. And then you call us terrorists. You call us terrorists shamefully. You unleash the police on us. You have the power to not do that. You have the power to protect us while we are protesting. Yet here you are antagonizing us. What you showed with the other press briefing is that you have to get your way, and that is not going to be how things will run. We will vote you out. We will take you out of that office. We put you in. Oh, by the way, I did not vote for you. I did not. I have never believed in your politics. And at this point, I will never believe in your politics. I did not vote for you. It is very clear. And I predicted that your government is going to be of looters and thieves. And you have proven us right. Now, let me just drift for a minute. This is also to my fellow young people. Let not that man called the deputy president lie to you all. He doesn't have best interest for us in our heart. In fact, as a young person from Luo Nyanza, I do not view him as my deputy president. His politics is for the mountain. He forgot that a deputy president is a deputy president of the whole country and not of one region. Even if I did not vote for you, you and the president, once you become the president and the deputy president, you are the president of those who voted for you and those who did not vote for you. Please understand that, Mr. Deputy President. Don't come here to talk to us. You go and face the mountain and talk to the mountain. If that is you are the deputy president of the mountain as you purport. So do that. Please don't appeal to us, and don't pretend as though you are not aware of this bill and its implications, and as if you're waking up from a slumber to find that things are going bad. Don't separate yourself from the president. You and him are the same. Don't pretend that you're the one who cares and the president does not care. You are the same. If he makes a mistake, it is your mistake. So please don't pretend as if you were somewhere resting. You were not aware of what was going on in the ground. If you really cared, you should have spoken from the first instance. So now you wait for the president to make his address, and then you come out with your PR team to come and address us. We do not want to listen to you. You are the same people. So please, you remember when you told us that the government is of shareholders and that shareholders are going to get their cut according to how they contributed? What a backward way of thinking. Shame on you, Mr. Deputy President. If you really care, you work together with your boss and get these punitive laws and bylaws that you're trying to create for us out of the way. Otherwise, Nikelele Achura, nothing is different. So, Mr. President, back to you. If you're really serious about helping us make this country an easy place for young people to be self-employed, to be employed, get us incentives that removes taxation for us when we start businesses, when we become entrepreneurs. If you do that, then we will start seeing that you care. Otherwise, all this is just music to our ears. Nothing but the same old lies and politics. You are the one who was crying and saying, oh, Uhuru Kenyatta, don't do this to the common mwananchi. Don't do this. But yet here you are. You even invoked the military on us. Shame on you for pretending to be a hustler, for pretending to be one who cares for the common man, and you're out of touch with our reality. First of all, listen here. Let me tell you something that your advisors like Devin D cannot tell you, because they also don't know. They're out of touch with the reality. This movement is not funded by anyone. This movement is funded by our own selves. We do not want to have one specific leader. We lead ourselves. All the mobilization is by ourselves. There is no foreign funding, Mr. President. No foreign funding. If it were, people like Meg Whitman of the US Embassy, who is in beds with you, by the way, who cannot speak against you, would have funded us, but they are not. All the embassies just send out sort of a statement that is all loose and open-ended, nothing helpful, nothing calling you out of your sins. They are all in bed with you because they have their interests at heart. No foreign powers are funding us. This is a movement by the young people, for the young people, and that is how a revolution has been born. A revolution of the collective hate for your government. That is what it is. You see, the small monies we have is what we're using to move from here to town to go and speak against the ills of your government. And we thank our parents who are of the older generation who are paying for our fares, our transport to go into town to speak against the ills of your government. So no, Mr. President, I know you're surprised. How is this happening? Who's funding? Nobody's funding us. We are fueled by the collective hate for your government. So just so you know, that is what is fueling us. So all the propaganda that you're spewing and your government is spewing and your people are spewing about somebody funding us, oh no, nobody's funding us. And this is to the MPs, the pigs that we chose to take to parliament. You keep being puppets. The president can get another 10 years, but you will not. And I hope that the inversion of the parliament showed you that you're not too far removed from being held accountable by the justice of the people. So anytime you drive your big four-wheeled cars around the city and visit the villages to peddle lies and come with peanuts in your pockets to give us, remember that you're not too far from being held accountable by the justice that is put upon you by the people. We are not here to play. Times have changed. The revolution is in our hands, and that revolution in our phones, on Twitter, on Facebook, on TikTok, on WhatsApp. And Safaricom, we know you for switching off the power for us. We will boycott you. We will turn to other alternatives. If you dare try to mitigate the revolution by switching off the internet for us and lying about an underground sea cable being turned off, we will boycott you. Technology has advanced. We have other ways we can find to transact. So this is a warning to you to be independent. So our MPs, do the work you are sent to do. Represent our voices. Don't represent your own interest. And here is young people. After we are done with the president and his corrupt leaders, we are coming for the MPs. We want their salaries to be reduced to a minimum of 80,000. We do not want jokes. We want the stance to be tough, so that anyone who's going to be an MP goes there because he genuinely wants to represent the interest of the people. So, Mr. President, if you are wise, you will start listening to the true voice of the people. Do not antagonize us. Do not call us terrorists. We were peaceful from the start. We are peaceful. We are not peddling any violence. So if you dare say we are peddling violence, we will go against that. And just so you know it, I'm not obligated to, but I'm going to tell you, the hashtag that is trending now and will keep trending is that you must go. That you must go. That is what is in the hearts of the people. Do everything possible in your power to ensure we change our stance. Otherwise, this generation is not relenting. The revolution will not die. The revolution does not die. People die. Tyrants die. But revolutions do not die. You cannot kill 1 million. You cannot kill 5 million. You cannot kill 54 million. It is impossible. So the sooner you realize that, the better it will be for you. As a young Kenyan, as a young person in Kenya, I did not grow up in wealth. I was not part of a YK2 movement by the age of 20-something. I do not have millions to my name. I am trying to get there. I'm a creative. I made something of myself. Yet here you are. You want to take it all. Despite being full, a belly full, yet you want to take my little. I will not sit back and allow that. I am removing my family from a generation of poverty to a generation of something of wealth. And you cannot stand in between me and that. And not only for me, for my community. I'm from Homa Bay County. I want to see young people who I know with businesses, with ideas, get education, start businesses, be successful, get their families out of poverty. We don't want to live from hand to mouth. We want to live on more than just $1 a day. So you cannot stand in between us and that. We have tasted poverty. Maybe you tested it so long ago you've forgotten how poverty tastes, but we still remember how poverty tastes. We still have to worry about rent. We still have to worry about somebody in our family becoming so sick, and we come to the brink of poverty. Because right now, if somebody in my family becomes sick, I personally don't have insurance. I will have to go and start fundraising. I will have to sell all my little assets because somebody is sick. We want to get out of there, Mr. President. And that is why you have to listen to our voices. This is my plea to you, and I hope that you listen. Because if you don't listen, we shall protest to the end. To the church, which I am part of, please don't be in the middle. Take a stand. It is sinful for people to die hungry. It is sinful for people to die of sickness in the hospitals without tools and treatment. It is sinful for people to be shot in the head with no reason. It is sinful. And yet we see our leaders going to the State House to sit and dine with the president. None of them making statements about this. I commend all the pastors, especially the young pastors, who've stood up and spoken against these ills. But our older generation pastors who are going and sitting and dining with the president and smiling with him, shame on you. Shame on you, man of God. Shame on you for not taking a stand. Shame on you. Oh, Reverend Joya, we remember your struggles. I watched a video of Reverend Joya being beaten for multipartyism's sake, being beaten and battered by the police because he took a stand. I commend you, sir. I commend you. Why can't we pick a leaf from him? And not only to our leaders, to the fellow young people from church who have joined us in the protest. May God bless you all. But those who have kept quiet because they want to preserve peace, peace will not reign in terror. There is no peace in silence. No peace in silence while people die. There is no peace there. It's just pretense, sweeping things under the rug. So stand up and speak. Jesus wants justice in the world. And if you can't stand for that, then what are you as a Christian? What are you? What happened to bringing all people together, walks of life? What happened to uniting us all in love? It is hate when you let your neighbor sleep hungry. It is hate when you kill somebody else. It is hate. It is anti-Christ to not stand against the ill of this world. So stand and speak, church. Stand collectively, individually, as our leaders make a statement, church. Otherwise, there's nothing we're doing being Christians and spreading the love of God on this earth. Nothing. If we cannot stand with the materially poor, what are we doing extending the kingdom? If we cannot break bread and share it with our neighbor who's dying hungry, what are we doing? What are we doing? Mr. President, you came out and pretended to be a man of God. Some people called you a chosen one, a David. What we see is a pure Philistine, nothing more than a plunderer coming to finish us. If you truly are a man of God, you will change your ways, repent, and make things better for people in this country. Otherwise, all we are doing is dancing to the music while waiting to die. And that music is death. So, Mr. President, please get your head out of the sand and for once, touch base with reality. My fellow young people, as I conclude, do not relent. Do not stand down. Do not let anyone take away your rights, your constitutional rights as a Kenyan, to peaceful protests, to rightfully living in the right conditions in this country. Let no one stand between you and that. As my friends say, the only enemy here is poverty. The only enemy here is injustice. The only enemy here is lack of progressiveness. And we are going to fight against those. So do not relent. My condolences go to those who've lost their loved ones in these protests and in previous years, all the years of liberation. I send my heartfelt condolences to you as we bury those comrades. May God lay them to rest in peace. They died for something, so we cannot sit back and just give up. I pray that you stand for something. May God just bless and protect those families. And for those who have been hurt and captured and kidnapped for this reason, may history pay you. May the future be bright for you. As we speak now, Gabriel Oguda was released. Kasmuel is still missing. He's posted, but we don't believe it's him. Yabrado was released. I pray that all those who are captured for the sake of this protest may be released. Mr. President, release, alongside your government, please release all those who are captured. We shall keep fighting and we shall win. God bless you and God bless this beautiful country of Kenya.